Salaki about that. Ever so sorry about that. Just had to deal with something. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 6 and 19, because everything we're speaking about is referring to as toiling, you know. In a metaphorical sense, it's being explained, likened unto what? Husbandry. And this is husbandry. Okay? Let's go to Ecclesiastes 6 and 15. Hate not laborious work, and this is laborious work. It takes time, it takes dedication. Yes, we get tired. It's laborious work. Okay? And that's twofold as well. Okay? Neither husbandry. That's the spirit. This is husbandry. Quickly type in that word. Husbandry. So you're not supposed to hate these things, because it's part of the ministry. Oh, wait just a minute. Wait, that's heavy. And guess what word you get as well? Adama, which comes from the ground. Adama from Adam. Let me just a minute.
Strong's H127. Adama.
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 Which comes from Adam. Adama. And Adam came from the ground. Okay, the soil. And that shows you he was what? A dark-skinned man. Okay, which Adam is Yahushua, if you can receive that. Ground that's generally tilled. So what are we doing? We're tilling the ground. And tilling, it's not easy. You're digging. The stones, you're getting out stones. You're getting all that rubbish. Okay, and you're flipping it. You're flipping the ground. You're turning it over. Yielding sustenance. What's sustenance? Fruit. But you only yield that after what? You've tilled that ground. You've planted that seed. And you wait. Piece of ground, a specific plot of land. Earth. Substance for building or construction. Ground is Earth's visible surface. And that's it on that. Let me just a minute. And it's interesting because as I keep going into these words, it's actually a particular scripture. This is 1 Corinthians 3 and 9. For we are laborers together. So we're supposed to be laboring together and on the same accord. That's why the elder apostle said all the brothers, they're supposed to be showing the same diligence. So what does that mean? You're going to be doing exactly the same amount as another brother? No, it doesn't. It means you're going to be doing your measure during that day. That day, what you know, you're going to be using that measure during that day. For we are all laborers together with the Most High. For ye are the Most High's husbandry. Okay? You are the Most High's building. Because the kingdom of heaven is within us. The house, that's why it's called the house of the what? That's why you got to get into these words as well. You got all the tools. Okay, and I keep on saying this. It really goes back to a lack of self-esteem. Prolonging stuff. It really goes back to a lack of self-esteem. So let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and 18. My son, gather instruction. So that's what we're supposed to be gathering instruction. Instruction tells you how to do something. And the instruction has been laid out. Okay, from my elder apostles on down. From thy youth up. Because you come to this more so when you're young. Okay. So should I find wisdom to that old age. Because if you're taught these things when you're young. And you're keeping these things. When you become older, you're going to become more wise. Because you've got a lot of old fools out here. Okay. Men that are 50, 60 years old. And they're still the same way. There's no change to them. No change to their character. Come unto her. And this is come unto her what? Wisdom. Okay. Sophia, as one that ploweth. What's plowing? Tilling. You're tilling, you're toiling. Okay. That's what plowing means. Okay. You're plowing. Okay. You may have the animals or you may use the animal to do it. You know. You put that little thing on the back of it. And it digs up the ground. Okay. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and waiteth for her good fruit. So what are we sowing? We're sowing the seeds of righteousness. These works, this is sowing. What I'm doing right now is sowing. Okay? So that means you're putting something out into the atmosphere. We're sowing them seeds of righteousness. What you put out, you get back. And wait for her good fruits. And what's the good fruit? The reward. The fruits is a manifestation of your work. Just like when you're working for Esau. What's the fruit? Your pay. But with Yahushua is different. Okay? Our pay is going to be what? When Yahushua comes. And he's going to give you little, like I said, he's going to give you little nuggets here and there. But our pay is going to be what? The kingdom. And wait for her good fruits. Okay? For thou shalt not toil much in labouring. And you only understand this, truly understand this scripture, if you're doing that. That's when you're going to truly understand the scripture. That's why the scripture says, be a doer of the word and not just a hearer only. Deceiving your own selves. A lot of men are deceiving themselves. Shall not toil much in labouring about her. Why? Because you've put in that work. The elder apostles, you remember when they started off and many people weren't watching. Remember, they were doing this before any internet. Then the internet came. Then you had more and more people joining, more and more people watching, more camps being set up. This you can apply this to them. Okay? Because look at the product of what the elder apostles have been doing. Now you've got camps all over the world. So what's that? That's what? Thou shalt not toil much in labouring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon. And they are being able to see the product of that work, that end result. Okay? Which really the end result is going to be what? The kingdom. So things take time. Things take time. Verse 20. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. So wisdom is going to be very unpleasant. It's going to be like too much of a heavy burden. Oh, no, you can't be bothered. That's why it's an everyday thing. You got to train yourself up. You got to train your mind to study, to go into this, to go into words, to go into a bit of history, to go into the prophecies. And yeah, of course, it's not supposed to be easy, because then it wouldn't be a war. It wouldn't be a spiritual battle. If everything was easy, then if you had no opposition, then it's not a war. That's why you get these thorns in your flesh. That's why you get people coming up against you. It's a war. It's a fight. Okay? So wisdom is very unpleasant to the unlearned. Okay? And what does it mean to be unlearned? That means you're obviously not studying. You're not reading. Okay? And those that don't have any understanding, they're unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her. Why? Because you're going to cast wisdom off. Okay? And a woman wants to be tended to. Women, they need attention. She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial. Okay? You're going to get fed up. Oh, it's not happening yet. The scripture says, woe unto you that have lost patience. What will you do when the Lord Yahushua shall visit you? And he will cast her from air, it be long. So you don't want to cast his word off. You want to hold on to it. For wisdom is according to her name, Sophia, and she is not manifest unto many. So wisdom's not many. It's not manifested to everybody. It's manifested unto you. So why we've got this, we have to hold on to it. You can't just squander it. Do you understand what we have? Even when you go into Revelations 1, 10, 12, Jeremiah 14 and 2, you ask the average person out here, did they know that who they ignorantly called Jesus Christ was a so-called dark-skinned man whose real name is Yahushua? They wouldn't know that. You got to understand. Do you understand what you've been given? The little things you know. Even if you don't know all these different scriptures, remember what the scriptures say. Better is he that have small understanding. Small. But fair if you have by Shem Yahushua. So with the small, you've been given small. You don't understand every single breakdown. But you have small understanding and you fear the Lord. And what's part of fearing the Lord? You're doing the work. That shows you fear the Lord. You're offering your body as a living sacrifice. That shows you prepare the Lord. You're going to camp. That shows you fear the Lord. So it's not about, oh, I know all these scriptures, because you can know all these scriptures, but you don't have faith. As soon as a trial happens, you run out the back door. So it's about actually having faith in what you're reading. Okay? She is not manifest unto many. Give ear, my son. That means listen. That's why it says you give him what? 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Less talking, more listening. Doesn't mean you're not going to talk, because obviously you're going to ask questions to learn. But you get that sometimes you don't even need to ask a question, because what you're thinking of, it will come. Okay? Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and that advice could come from a brother that's younger in the faith or older. There's no respecter of persons. And refuse not my counsel. So counsel comes in the form of Yahweh using men to give you that counsel. Okay? And they don't need to be right up next to you. It could be when you're watching a video and it might be a lesson just for you. And put thy feet into her fetters. Fetters are chains for your feet. And thy neck into her chains. So what? These are objects of bondage. These are yokes. So Yahweh wants you to be yoked with what? Discipline. Okay? He wants you to be yoked with his discipline. Because if you're yoked with his discipline, you're going to be more what? You're going to be more useful to the ministry. Okay? Bow down thy shoulder and bear her. You're bowing down. You're being subject. You're being submissive. Okay? This, when you see body language like this is submissive body language. Bent over, which women tend to do. When they like a man, they show their neck, they all that. That's submissive. So you got to be submissive, to wisdom, disciplined. Okay? And bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds, because again, wisdom's going to test you. Okay? Come unto her with thy whole heart. It says whole heart. Everything you have. You want to be wholehearted with this truth. Your whole, not some. Everything. Remember what the scripture says. Love thy Lord your Yahweh with thy power, with all thy heart and all thy might. So you're going to be coming into Yahweh with your whole heart, not some. And keep her ways with all thy power. So you want to keep all her ways. Not some. Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee. And when thou hast got her, let not her go. Hold on to Sophia. You don't want to let her go. Remember that first love. So with this lesson, I really hope this was edifying. I could go on longer, but I want to shut it off here. So on to the next time. Shalom to the hopeful elect, and keep on labouring, and pray that the Lord Yahweh shall sendeth more labourers to this harvest. Shalom.